The base had fallen silent long before dawn. Only the dull hum of generators and the distant thud of artillery reminded everyone that the war was still raging beyond the horizon. Inside the command tent, a group of officers huddled over maps, voices low and strained. "She's a civilian, right?" one lieutenant whispered, glancing toward the woman standing quietly near the corner. Her flight suit bore no insignia, no name patch, just the faint burn marks of a uniform that had seen more than its share of battle. The colonel muttered. "Now she's all we've got." Outside, the airfield burned. Enemy fighters had made 3 passes already, tearing apart the runway and leaving most of their aircraft in smoking ruins. The few remaining pilots were injured or gone. And yet, amid the chaos, she had walked in from the dust, calm, composed, eyes sharp as the steel wings of the jets outside. They didn't know her name, and she didn't offer it. All she said was, "You still have one operational bird, right?" The F-15 with the patched fuel line. The mechanic stared at her. "Yeah, but, then get it ready." No one moved. The colonel frowned. "Ma'am, you're not cleared." She met his eyes. "You want to live through the next 12 minutes? Then clear me." Minutes later, the roar of twin engines split the air as she taxied onto the fractured runway. The canopy lowered, glinting in the dim morning light. She didn't need a radio call or a ground crew. Her hands moved like instinct, switches, throttle, flaps. Every motion was precise, practiced. As the jet lifted from the ground, the officers watched, half in awe, half in disbelief. "Who is she?" someone asked. No one answered. The radar operator's voice broke the silence. "Multiple bogies inbound. 5 enemy fighters, bearing 180. Fast. Tell her to fall back." The colonel barked, but before he could finish, her voice crackled through the comms, calm, steady, almost bored. "Greater than, I see them. Engaging." The battle that followed would be replayed for years. She dove through the clouds like a ghost, her jet carving through enemy formations with impossible precision. Missiles locked, fired, vanished in streaks of light. Each explosion lit the sky brighter than dawn. Splash 1, splash 2. The radar tech looked up, eyes wide. "Sir, she just took down 3 in under 5 minutes." The colonel leaned closer to the screen. "That's impossible." But it wasn't. By the 12th minute, the last enemy jet spiraled into the desert below, a plume of fire marking the end of the attack. She circled once, silent, then said softly over the radio. "Greater than, threat eliminated. Runways clear." When she landed, the airfield crews rushed forward, still stunned. The colonel approached, eyes narrowing as he spotted the faint emblem under her torn patch, a golden falcon clutching lightning bolts. He froze. "You were in the 103rd Strike Wing." She gave a faint smile. "Once." Then she walked past him, helmet under her arm, leaving behind the stunned silence of men who had just watched a legend return to the skies. The debriefing tent was thick with the smell of dust, sweat, and disbelief. Every man in the room had seen her land, had watched 5 enemy fighters burn against the morning sky, yet no one could quite accept that the quiet woman now sitting before them had done it alone. She removed her gloves slowly, setting them neatly on the table. Her hands were steady, but her eyes, deep, calculating, scanned every face around her as if reading a classified file. Colonel Reeves broke the silence first. "You just pulled off a maneuver I've never seen outside of simulation." "Who trained you?" She didn't answer. Instead, she leaned back, expression unreadable. "You've got incoming again. In 6 hours. They'll send more. I suggest you fix your radar array before then." The colonel frowned. "That's not what I asked." Her lips curved faintly, but there was no humor in it. "And I'm not here to satisfy curiosity." The officers exchanged uneasy glances. One of them, a younger pilot named Mason, couldn't hold back. "Ma'am, with all due respect, you don't just walk in and down 5 jets like that." "Who are you?" For a long moment, she said nothing. The tent flap rustled in the wind. Outside, mechanics worked to clear wreckage from the runway. Then, at last, she reached into her flight suit and placed a small metal tag on the table. Everyone leaned in. The colonel's eyes widened. The tag bore a winged emblem, an eagle clutching a sword, surrounded by 3 silver stars. A symbol not seen in years. "That's impossible," he whispered. Project Valkyrie was decommissioned. She met his gaze coolly. "So they said." A chill ran through the tent. Project Valkyrie, a black ops program rumored to have trained the deadliest female combat pilots on record, most of whom were declared missing or Kia. The colonel swallowed hard. "Then you're..." Commander Lyra Hale, she said quietly. Valkyrie 1. The room fell dead silent. Even Mason, who'd been ready to challenge her moments ago, couldn't speak. Her name was Legend, the kind whispered in pilot circles, the one they said had taken down an entire squadron during the Pacific night raids, then vanished without a trace. Reeves leaned forward. We thought you were gone, she finished for him. That's the point. Sometimes you have to disappear to do the work that needs doing. The colonel exhaled, rubbing his temples. If you're back, then things must be worse than we thought. Lyra stood, tucking her gloves beneath her arm. Worse, she confirmed, and about to get personal. Her words hung heavy in the air. Outside, thunder rumbled, not from the weather, but from distant engines. Somewhere beyond the horizon, another wave of enemy fighters was forming up. Lyra turned toward the tent flap, her silhouette sharp against the rising light. Get your men ready, Colonel. 12 minutes was just the beginning.